What's up, people? I am here. Um, Sorry, something fell. But I am back. Um, I was gonna do the Chucky thing today, but I'm gonna say that for Friday because I just saved. Sorry. Um, I I'm anxious to dive into the Terminator movies, so I'm just gonna do that today and tomorrow. So we are reviewing the. I'm only doing the first two movies. I'm not gonna touch on any other. I think I might do Salvation. Like I might do that one, but like I'm not gonna do Dark Fate or even Genesis, which I didn't hate Genesis like everyone else did, but I'm honestly only gonna want to touch on the first two. Because at the end of the day, those are the only ones that really matter. So today we're gonna start with the first one, and this is a movie I watched for the first time when I was, I think it was about the same time I watched the Chucky movies. It was about 8 or 9 years old when I found those movies. It was on like Star or it was either like on HBO Star, on Stars or Encore. It was one of those movie channels back in the day, and I just remember just being. I was actually pretty scared of the first one because it's more of a horror movie, and James Cameron I think really changed the game with this movie, and in a way it is very similar to Halloween, the original, like in the sense Kyle Reese is like the Loomis character, and then of course Terminator's Michael. The only difference is he has some dialogue, whereas Michael doesn't speak. Hold on. Sorry about that. Something fell on the back over there. Sorry. Um, but I overall really love this movie. And unpopular opinion, I mean, not unpopular. I think a lot of people have this opinion. I like the second one a smidge more, but I do love this one, and I just think it was the first of its kind. It really, I would argue, this was Arnold's big. I mean, I know he did Conan before this, but Conan, at least the first one, I think was a big movie, but it wasn't that big. I think this one made him a superstar because after this, he got Commando, and then we obviously got T2. So it's like this one was one that made him a star. This is what made Arnold Arnold. So honestly, I fucking love this movie, and I actually love the score. I like the like '80s esque, and I kind of like the like I don't know what to call it, but like the like the opening music from like T1 like T2 that you all recognize, but it's in a different pitch. It has a so the score is really good. I think this is all around a great movie and just a great cast. Fucking Kyle Reese played by Michael Michael Bean was did a great job. Obviously, Linda Hamilton in this movie, and then obviously the next. Like it's just this movie is like so a lot to say about it. So let's start. This movie opens up. We're introduced in to 1984. I think there's quick flashes of the future you get a little bit, which I like, and then you get the intro, and then Arnold arrives, and in my opinion, really good scene. We have a little bit of Bill Paxton in there, and he steals these guys' clothes, kills a few of them, and steals their clothes. And then Kyle Reese also arrives, but then gets chased by police for a little bit, and then runs into, I'm assuming, like some kind of store where he steals like sneaks and his clothes, and then so that happens. It was pretty quick. I like the opening. I also really love the gritty 80s. That's the thing about 80s films in general. I love that like gritty look. Even though this was in LA, it had that like gritty New York look. Like this is something that was from the 80s. And I don't know if it was just because the filter of movies back then just. So the next day, the Terminator starts picking up weapons and kills a guy at the register. We're also introduced to Sarah Connor, who works at a diner, and we see a little bit of her. She's a waitress. She has a friend. It's just very much a normal girl in this film. And this is the thing. You used to just be able to write female characters as people back then. You didn't have to write them as some kind of virtue signal. So Sarah Connor in this movie is just a regular old woman. She has a job, has a friend, has an apartment, just kind of just does normal things. Then the Terminator starts picking off people named Sarah Connor, and I fucking love this opening. Like, just knocks on the door. She opens, and he just says Sarah Connor, and she says yes. He fucking bursts in and just starts shooting. It's like he's cold as fuck in this movie. Arnold does a really good job of playing like he is fucking eerie in this. Like, he talks a little bit, but very few words in this. I would argue he doesn't talk as much in this compared to the second one. And just, yeah, dude, just straight up shoot. So he kills Sarah Connor. But not the right one. We see John Connor not John Connor, Kyle, have a moment where, because he's at like a construction site, which kind of reminds him. So we get a little, not flashback, but just a quick shot of him in the war, which I really like. I like the little, like, moments we get to see, like, the future war. So that was cool. Then that night, Sarah and her friend, I think, were supposed to go like on a double date, but the dude canceled. So Sarah ends up leaving her apartment to go to a movie, and her friend's boyfriend arrives. So he leaves, and then basically Kyle begins to tail her, and Arnold walks in, finds the right Sarah Connor this time. And in between this, there's shots of the police, and we see because they're hearing about because he killed another Sarah Connor earlier that day. So he arrives, kills her friend. So he kills her boyfriend, and then kills her friend, and then learns that Sarah is hiding at a bar. She's at a bar because she sees Kyle following her, who she thinks is the one trying to kill her. So she goes into this bar, and he got this really 80s song playing in the background. I don't know the exact name of the song. It's something burning. Really 80s. So that happens. So Arnold kills her friend, then proceeds to find her because because she was calling the house, and she was telling her friend, thinking like leaving a message, and then so the T-800 hears it. He leaves, finds her location. She calls the police too. Both Kyle and Terminator arrive, and the Terminator sees her, and this is where you got the song playing in the background. He's about to shoot her. Kyle makes the save. He manages to shoot T-800 a few times, but obviously doesn't kill him. They run. Kyle shoots something which causes a fire, so now Arnold's on fire. Then you proceed to have a really good chase with the dope music in the background, and then they have to steal another car. And this is where he tells her about what the T-800 is and who she actually is, and that the machine's here to kill her. In really great scene. Very, obviously reminiscent of the Blackest Eyes scene from Halloween, but really awesome. So we have another chase. T-800 chases them in a stolen police car. The police arrive. They manage to, I think they cause a wreck with the T-800, and then the police arrive. They arrest Kyle, and then so they're apprehended by police. So now at the police station, where then we see T-800 go into like some kind of motel, and this is where you get a shot of his cybernetic eye, which is the effects. Some of the effects are dated, especially this scene. You could tell it's a mold or like some kind of mold of Arnold's face, but still great scene. This is where we're introduced to the doctor from the second movie we see. Hold hold on, I gotta find him. Dr. Silverman, who we see in the second film. Dr. Silverman's asking Kyle questions and he's telling him they're trying to make Kyle look crazy. And Lance Henriksen's in this movie. Um, his role is pretty mild. He's just a partner of Detective Traxler, I think is his name. Really decent character, and in the director's cut, you see a bit more of him. So T-800 arrives with a new look. Now with this more iconic look, the glasses, the leather jacket. Proceeds to do a massacre at the police station. Really brutal scene, just because it showcases what the T-800 can do. Kyle Reese gets loose, meets up with Sarah Connor, and there's a deleted scene where it shows Trixler now trusting Kyle and gives him a gun. I hate that they cut that. That needed to be in the movie. I hate shit that they cut sometimes. So they managed to escape while the T-800 chases them. Then they go to like some kind of location where they hide out for the night, and this is where Kyle has memories of another T-800. This is like a dream scene where another T-800 shows up. So, of another T-800 with the skin kind of killing fellow troopers, and then he wakes up, and then Kyle and Sarah go to a motel. Oh, hold on, let me see how long we're filming. So they arrive at a at a motel, and Kyle gets supplies to build pipe bombs and stuff, and plan their next move. And then basically later that night, and also while this happens, Arnold finds Sarah's mom's, I guess, lodge or some kind of cabin that she's been staying in, kills her, and then Arnold, throughout the film, you can see that he can mimic other people's voices. So he mimics his Sarah's mom's voice and finds a location and then goes to it. They didn't show her mom being killed, but you see like in the aftermath, like because you get this like very pan shot of like the destruction in the background, and then like in the big hole in the door. So he probably just shot her through the door. So that happens. Later that night, Kyle's building pipe bombs and admits his love for Sarah, and basically they make love. And you have really, like, the music's kind of beautiful. It's the music, I think, obviously from T2 that you see later. So that happens, but then the T-800 arrives, and then they basically chase them. They escape in a pickup truck, and then the T-800 gets on the motorcycle. He continues to chase them, and then he loses control of his bike, and then gets a motorcycle. And this is now you can kind of see like the destruction. You start seeing a little bit of the Enzo skeleton, and then you have the iconic get out scene. So he chases them, the truck flips over. Kyle puts a pipe bomb and blows it up, and then everything seems fine, and then now, and Kyle and Sarah embrace, everything seems fine, and then the debris starts moving, and it's the T-800 full-on Enzo skeleton. This scene's awesome. Some of the effects aren't amazing, but it looks largely good. And it chases them into this building, like some kind of, I think it's like a factory. So he chases them into this factory, then Kyle fights with it, and then puts another pipe bomb into like a part of his Enzo skeleton and blows it up. Basically, I think it kills Kyle too. It injures Sarah's leg, and then Kyle dies. kind of like sacrifices himself, but the Enzo's still alive. But now he's just an abdomen. Crawls to Sarah. Sarah um, crawl, crawls into this like I guess hydraulic press, and then the Terminator tries to follow her. She presses a button and crushes the Terminator. While I think like while it was strangling her, because it had like it hands on her, and then there's a deleted scene which shows them hiding the evidence, which is mentioned in T2. So they cut that out, but then I didn't know this was months later. So Sarah, who's now pregnant with John, is in like I guess some is in Mexico in a jeep. Um, they take a Polaroid, which is the Polaroid that Kyle has early on in the film, and then they leave, and then the music plays. Because they was told a storm's coming, and she says she knows. Which is basically the storm, though, was the machines. Awesome fucking film. I love watching this movie, man. This is one that's a classic. The score is classic. I love the horror aspect. I think Arnold does a good job of playing a emotionless cyborg. I think he does a really good job at that, and I can't wait till tomorrow because T2 is my favorite, and oh my god, that's gonna be fun. But watching this one again is always great, and Michael Biehn does a great job as Sarah. And honestly, Sarah and Kyle have a really good chemistry. Like they are really good together. I do kind of wish we got a little bit more of them, but you know, all around, I think this movie's perfectly paced. It's not boring. Same with T2. Neither of these movies are like awesomely paced. I'd advise anyone if you have not watched it, watch this fucking movie because this movie's iconic. Like this is one I feel like you cannot miss out on. And I think it was revolutionary too because this was what made Arnold a superstar. I know he had done Conan and some other movies before, but this is what made him a household name. Because the very next year, we got Commando. So this made him a superstar. I would argue this is what made him a superstar. And just Linda Hamilton in this movie. You know, I mean, I'll admit Sarah's more of just a normal girl who all this is happening to, but then she starts realizing it, and even throughout the film you see her toughen up a bit, and then definitely by the end, and just she's my favorite. Arguably, it's tied between her and Ripley are like my favorite female characters of all time, and just this whole movie, man, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I don't know why I was going to say 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10. 11 out of 10. This movie is awesome, and I think the score is great. Even, like, the super cheesy 80s song, like, it's always iconic. Like, when I think that's Burning song, it's when Arnold's about to shoot Sarah at the club. It's such a good film, and honestly, everyone did a good job. And James Cameron did a good job. This film is iconic. That's all I really can say about it. I like the special effects, the music, like just everything about the movie, the plot. And it was simple, and that's the other thing. There was no crazy locations either. It's most of this is in New York. I mean, in LA, for the most part. Besides, like, you have some shots of the future, but largely it's mostly in LA. So no crazy locations, none of that. So I'm gonna get ready to end this video. This movie's a 10 out of 10, and I would advise anybody to watch it. And if you watched it, watch it again. So, 10 out of 10. Tomorrow, I can't fucking wait, because T2 is going to be so fun, man. I gotta see if I can somehow cram all that in 30 minutes, but we'll see. I'm going to take one more hint. to you guys tomorrow. Fuck Hank Azaria. Fuck Warner Brothers. And that's going to be another video I might do tomorrow. So I might do 2 videos tomorrow. I gotta go in on Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is just brain dead. Like, it's... I have never seen... Sorry. I have never seen such a retarded company. So, yeah. So, fuck Hank Azaria. Fuck Warner Brothers. Fuck Mortal Kombat 2021. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.